I am speaking with,
Gene Marks. I'm president of the Marks Group.
and Gene, you just gave a great keynote presentation at the Zoholics user conference about, how people are using or how companies are using CRM really successfully. What are some of those formulas?
Well, I can tell you a quick story, right? I mean, we've been doing CRM applications since 1998, I think, and we have about 600 clients that use CRM. We've had some great successes and some bitter failures. And I learned a few things from some smart guys over the past few years. Best example is every year I get like 6 or 7 guys that call me up. They're usually like sales managers. And they'll say to me, hey, Gene, I'm working at this one company. I just left another company. At my previous job, I used this CRM system, whatever it is, for better or for worse. And I want to use that same CRM system at this company that I'm at now, because that's what I know. So come in here, get it set up, and what I need from you is these 3 or 4 reports that I like to use. And what I learned from the guys like that is that smart people that are using CRM systems the right way, they use reports. They understand that the system itself is nothing more than just a database. So you want to get data out of it and run your business based on the data that's coming from the system. So like that sales manager, he calls me in and said, look, I've got 3 or 4 reports I'm running out of my system. I need you to set that up for me. I want you to teach my sales guys how to do what they got to do so I get my 3 or 4 reports. I don't really care about all the bells and whistles and this and that. I need this information to run my sales group, and that's what I want to get out of my CRM system. It's a black and white thing, and it seems to work really well for a lot of guys.
Actually, I really like that point when you're talking about success metrics, and it really just comes down to reports. One of the other things that you also mentioned, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, is that you really have to maintain and be very active with your CRM system. Explain what you mean by that.
But, in the end, no matter what any person's going to tell you, no matter what software company is going to tell you or this, with all their bells and whistles or whatever, it's just a database. A CRM system, it's just a database. It can be inside your company, it can be hosted outside your company, but it's just a database. So if you really want to succeed with a CRM system, you got to have somebody that owns the data. A lot of times, people don't figure that into their cost. They think about, oh, well, this system's going to cost me this amount per month, and I'm going to have this guy come in and do training, and that's going to cost me and all of that. The real cost of it is somebody internal who owns your database. And I'm not saying that person's got to be some kind of a technical genius. It just needs to be like some kind of a smart cookie that knows their way around the data, that's not afraid to make mistakes, somebody that'll diaper your salesman or wipe their rear ends when necessary. This is somebody that just has this sort of self-starter to say, you know what, that CRM database is all mine, and any questions, any issues about it should come through me. If the data is lousy, your CRM system's going to be lousy too.
Boil it down even a little bit further for me in terms of what is the data that you should be putting in. And I know every company is different and stuff, but what are some of just the basics that need to be in your CRM system? So, 3 months down the road, you're like, oh, now we're getting some decent information out of it.
It's such a great question, because so many people go overboard when they're implementing CRM systems. They want to have hundreds of different user-defined fields. And believe me, in every single case, it gets blown off. So a good CRM system should do 2 things. Number 1 is it should make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. And number 2, it should make sure that nobody looks like a dope. So when I talk about nothing falling through the cracks, of course you're going to have the basic contact information about your customers or your prospects or whoever. That's fine. But the information you want to be tracking is what's pending, what this guy might be interested in, when you're following up with him, what service they might have asked for that they want to get a callback on maybe 6 or 7 months later. If there's a quote outstanding and somebody's got to follow up, you want to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks in your CRM system. So just keep that data that makes sure that that does not happen. Number 2, you want to make sure nobody looks like a dope. So the people that I know that have good CRM systems keep track of certain data about their customers so that when they call in, whoever picks up the phone knows everything there is to know about that customer. When they were called last, who last visited them, when their kids graduating from college, whatever you think is important to know about your customer, because it builds that relationship. There is nothing worse than calling into a company and feeling like nobody knows you. So making sure that nothing falls through the cracks, making sure that you've got that information so that your key people, nobody looks like a dope, that's the kind of information you want to have in your CRM system.
Gene, thank you so much.
Thank you.